Yeah, when I lived in Lewisham, being around Jimmy Tibbet and all them sort of people, and meeting Eddie Richardson and going down the pub, meeting all them people that was down the pub, and being not being introduced to Eddie, but me introducing myself to Eddie as such, yeah, and him talking about Jimmy Tibbet and all that, me going down to Beckett and meeting Jimmy Tibbet, yeah, and me talking to Jimmy Tibbet about Eddie Richardson, and Jimmy telling me that Eddie could have really could march on. He was a real good fighter, mate. He wasn't afraid of no man. Eddie would have toe to toe with anybody. He always said that he would get in the ring with the Crays, Ronnie and Reggie, and bash them both up together in the same cell. You know, who am I to say it was wrong? Uh, Charlie and Eddie, they used to have a courtroom in a scrap place where people would be sitting there. Uh, Charlie would be the judge, Eddie would be prosecution, so he had no chance of getting off. But and people that worked for him would be like there as just sitting down watching the jurors, and and it was always a guilty, and then they go and then the sentences. Nine times out of ten, they wind up with Johnny Critterton. I mean, when I went to Johnny Critterson's place, went down there and I see the Greyhound Stadium, and I see the kennels where they used to talk to people in the kennels. Yeah, that used to be the place where Frankie Fraser, Charlie, Eddie, which said to take the people after they were sentenced and get them there and do terrible things to them. When you went into the Greyhound place, kennels, and you get an atmosphere, really, really bad atmosphere. You think, wow, this is where it all happened. This is where they put battery acid, make them drink battery acid, and put battery leads on the genitals and on the nipples and all that, and electric shock them and cut them up. You think about the things that went on there. You know what I mean? But it was true. And Jimmy Tibbet, I loved him. Me and him could sit down. I mean, that is, his boy, young Jimmy Tibbet, yeah. When he talks exactly like his dad, exactly like his dad. They got so many stories. It goes on and on and on. It can go on for days and days and days and days. Because the stories are just unbelievable, mate. You don't think they're possible, but they are possible, yeah. And when I was around Jim, and I was to meet Eddie with him, and you feel pushed aside. You feel pushed aside because them men are proper men. You're just starting doing what you're doing, starting to get recognised. Even though you've done a lot of birds and all that, you still, look up to them people as proper people, mate. And they talk about George Cornell. So I remember Eddie Richardson talking about the guy in Paddington, Freddie Rondell, the Russian gold medalist judo gold medal in the Russian Olympics, telling me about Freddie Rondell and telling me that Freddie Rondell was one of the hardest men that he'd ever come across. Yeah, and Freddie Rondell was afraid of no man, and Eddie was telling me that I don't think there's a lot of men that would like to stand toe to toe with Freddie Rondell, and I believe that. When I see Fred and I talk to Freddie, very small man, 5'6", 5'7", massive man, talk like that, yeah. I used to see him eat raw beetroots, raw Swedes and cabbages and everything raw, never cooked, and green bananas and things like that. Nothing really, But this guy was massive, man, and so dangerous. And to listen to Eddie and the way Eddie talks about Freddie Rondell, it made me think, Freddie Rondell must be some different man, because he wasn't frightened of no one. Eddie wasn't frightened of no one, you know. He told me that George Cornell could have a fight. He wasn't afraid of no man, but it's like everything, isn't it? You can't go to someone else's place and start shouting their mouth about, and sooner or later, people are going to get pissed off of it and put one in your nut, which they did, yeah, with George Cornell. Ronnie Olive, another one. Ronnie Olive wrapped around Freddie Foreman. One Yardley, very dangerous man, very dangerous man. If he had a torn his hands, he was in trouble. Could have a fight, you know. But the governor really was Eddie Richardson. I don't know about Freddie Foreman and Eddie Richardson. They was on different sides, you know. Fred Foreman was wrapped with Reggie and Ronnie Cray, yeah, wrapped around them. I mean, I think he was more or less self-employed as such. He was a hitman, but he'd work for anybody that gave him the right money. But mostly he worked for the Crays, yeah, doing their dirty work, and they always used to call Fred to do anything. Fred was the person, you know, they called to get a debt. You know, good enforcer. He was a person, Fred, that they called to hurt someone, good at hurting people, you know, and good at putting people in bed, mate, for a long time. You know what I mean? Really, like, you know, he's done some terrible things. I mean, when you read Freddie Foreman's book, you think, nah, that can't be true, you know. But I'm telling you, it is. It's all true, you know. Even if he says it wasn't, it was true, you know. The guy was a gentleman. I know Jamie Foreman, his son, very well. Well, I did know Jamie Foreman's son very well. I met him years ago in Bermondsey. He was going out with a girl called Linda. This Linda become a High Court judge. Yeah, a High Court judge. She's got Jamie Foreman's daughter. Yeah, I think it's his daughter. Yeah, Jamie Foreman was a judge. She wasn't a judge at that time. I think she was a bar student, and now she's a High Court judge. I'm not quite sure her name, but I know she was a light-skinned woman, or, you know, whatever. But anyway, yeah, I met Jamie Foreman with some people years ago, you know, and we was doing bits and pieces, bits of business. Yeah, it don't seem possible, does it? I see him on television. It don't seem possible it's the same guy, but it is the same guy, you know what I mean? So he knows me, mate. He knows me well. He knows me big time. But he's, you know, anyway. And then, you know, go back to Jimmy Tibbet, you know, and you know, one of the greatest people that I met with Jim was, you know, someone like Cliff Fields when we worked together. Even though I used to see Cliff Fields at the shows and bits and pieces like that and talk to him in the shows, but to have him sitting down, having breakfast or having dinner and talking in the cafe and telling the stories about fighters and this, that and the other, and telling you about Lenny McLean and, you know, and all them sort of Waldron, Johnny Waldron. You know, it's good. It's nice to be sitting there. Even though I was doing it myself, I was an unlicensed fighter at that time. I would have fought anybody at that time. Cliff Fields at that time, maybe, I don't know. I used to smack about Cliff, sparring him now and again. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, you know, maybe Cliff Fields would have been a bit too much. I don't know, but I wasn't fighting with anybody. I always fancied my chance with Lenny, with Roy, you know, Johnny Waldron. I didn't know too much about Johnny Waldron. I heard some stories about him, that he was a good cruiserweight, you know, good cruiserweight, you know, and stopped loads of people, you know. And I mean, the unlicensed fighting game was in them days. I mean, I look at it now, you know, and I think to myself, it isn't the same. It's completely different. It's like gone. That atmosphere that Frankie Warren, you know, made. You know what I mean? You know, he made that atmosphere when he had shows. You know, it was just good shows. You know, the atmosphere was just unbelievable, mate. You know, it just made, you know, and now it's all gone. All that atmosphere is gone out of it now. It's not the same anymore. You know why? You know why isn't it like that? You know, I mean, I don't know really. Joe Paul, he had some fantastic shows as well. That big atmosphere with Roy Shaw, and you know, and you get some of them fighters, them old boys. You know, oh, what? It's like mad. It's mad. Where's it all gone? Now it's nothing, is it? It's finished, mate. The unlicensed fighting is finished. You know, it's to be the best, mate. It's to be the best. Some great fighters in there, going to dressing rooms with people and going there and talk to them, you know, and you think to yourself, You know, he'd go, "Look, you know, I'll see you fighting, mate. Do you fancy a fight next week? Me and you." That's what it'd be like. And you could, yeah, we'll have it, you know. And next week, do 8 rounds with him, you know, like Colombo, Steve Ritchie's, and all that with Gutridge and all them sort of people. They'd be sitting in there in the dressing rooms talking to each other, you know, and you know, like Paul, Paul, my mate Paul, he'd be the same, you know. There were so many guys that was in the dressing rooms that I forget their names, maybe their first names, you know, and it's madness, you know. I wish I could go back them days, mate. I mean, them times were so good, you know, we were all in there, just word of mouth, you know. Yeah, I'll see you fight. Lloyd Waltham, fantastic fighter. Lloyd, a lot of people swerved him, Lloyd, because Lloyd a good banger. He gave me a concussion, Lloyd Waltham, but he can bang. But yeah, and you see everyone's in there, Chippendale's in there, you know, like it was just Paul Fitzgerald, you know, sorry, remember Paul, and you go back, you think, oh, we used to have some laughs, mate. We used to have some laughs, yeah. And I remember going up to the club that used to sponsor the pub, that I think it was the Red Bull, that in Lewisham, well, around that way, and they used to sponsor me. And it was a going pub, all that lot would be there, all of us, Terry Coombs, Terry Sharp, Paul Fitzgerald, Colombo, Steve Ritchie's, you know, Steve S. Colombo, Danny Chippendale, we'd all be in the pub, you know. And they'd all be saying to me, "Oh, you're going to be the governor, the unlicensed heavyweight fights, you know, because you can bang weight." And they sponsored me, and I got notches, you know. And you feel, yeah, you know, like you're young, you're fit, you're at it, you don't care, you want to fight. Yeah, man, I loved it. And when I used to talk to Cliff Fields, mate, the guy made me proud. He wasn't a flash guy, just a normal guy, talked, not flash, just talked, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't care, he just done his job, got his money, went home, got drunk. It's a shame, man. It's a shame. It's a shame. I remember, like, you know, give him his money, we take him to the station or whatever, we take him and then buy maybe 5 or 6 cans of beer to get on the train with and go back after he got his money, a couple of grand or whatever it'll be, yeah. And then it's mad, mate. Such a big shame, you know. Someone like Cliff Fields, you know, it was such a good fighter to get involved, having a punch up and then took his eye out, or a bit of sugar glass took out, took his eye, and the guy went to pieces, yeah. And then his life his life was fighting. Hard man. That was took from him. Just took from that split second. Just gone, you know. And most good fighters, not so much today, but in them days, you know, they get big time on a drink, go on a wine, you know, bottles of vodka, big beer boot binges, you know, and it's a shame. You know, I look up to a lot of these people that don't even touch drink, don't smoke or nothing, just keep the way they are. Jimmy Tibbs, a fantastic guy, don't drink much, don't smoke, just trains, same as his son. You know, them sort of people, Johnny, Robert, they're all the same, yeah? They're all the same, just train, keep yourself really fit, you know. Good mate of mine, mate. A guy that I used to really like, Alan Dixon, yeah. Alan Dixon, when I met him in Albany, mate, this guy was just a nice guy. Alan Dixon would get everybody, him and Frankie Kerrigan, him and a guy called Frankie Kerrigan, when them two got together in Albany, it was just madness. You got Frankie Kerrigan to just put his hand behind the thing and nick all the sausages or the bacon. You got Alan Dixon would knock screws hats off and take the mickey out of them. and make out hello. And Alan Dixon was the nicest guy that make you laugh you could ever be around, mate. Sing, great singer, mate. He was just a fantastic singer, and to meet all these people that I've met over the years, to talk about them, what I talk about, and I've got stories that, I think to myself, fucking hell, all these stories you got about these people, like my mate Peter Kelly, big Peter Kelly, a gentleman, my mate, a good mate of mine that I met when I come out on the street in prison. We was together close, yeah. The guy was an animal, powerful man. Didn't care for no one, wasn't frightened of no man. Loved me, mate. He loved me. He was always around me when I was training, saying you're going to get massive. And he was just a diamond, mate. Peter Kelly, really, what I mean. I met some people in there, mate. You know, one of the greatest things that I've seen go on in there was a guy called Ronnie Walker. Ronnie Walker, mate, nice guy, good looking guy. Flash, very flash, but got too flash. Wanted to visit, smuggled in a Rolex, big nice solid gold watch, walking around with it, and they just running his cell, mate, and clamped him to the bed. He couldn't move. And then nicked his Rolex oyster, and that was my mate Togi Ludlow. Togi, I mean, there's a lot of people who say some bad things about Togi, but Togi ain't frightened of no one. He ain't run away. He's still local. He don't care for no one. He ain't frightened of anybody. When he would go on the move, mate, people knew that you were someone who was in trouble. He wasn't scared of anybody. Couldn't fight with those as such, yeah, but dangerous with a blade. He was really dangerous with a blade. People go, oh yeah, but I can be dangerous with a blade, but it's a lot different using it and then just holding it, yeah. But someone who's just going to come round with you and plunge you in the back 4 or 5 times, will just come behind you and stab you in the chest. They are dangerous, So you knew when he was on the move with 4 or 5 of his mates, you knew that someone was going to get it, You knew that someone in that wing where we was, like C wing, was going to get really, really hurt. I've said it before, the greatest thing that I ever see with Togi was when people had their birthdays, yeah? If one person had their birthday that was lucky, right? If there was 2 people that had their birthday the same day, they was very unlucky. Because what they used to do is tie them up, put them back to back, and put them in a bath of water. And the one at the bottom be trying to get to the top, and the one at the top wants to stay there. And in the end, they give it a couple of minutes, then pull it up, and reverse it, yeah. And the people nearly drowned. The people nearly drowned. Togi was as mad as they come, mate. And being when I was at Albany, opposite me was Lowell Gibbons, mate, from over that way. Brixton Way, diamond. Lowell Gibbons, diamond, mate. When I went there, Lowell introduced, I was right opposite his cell, introduced himself, come over, give me tea, coffee, milk, sugar, everything I needed. Peter Kelly gave me a load of t-shirts, tea, sugar, milk, everything I needed. It was just good. Then you're meeting people like the Barry brothers, Johnny Barry, Parky Barry, meeting them too. When I first met Parky and Johnny Barry, seeing them, I thought there was a craze because only tiny. I thought there was a craze, but them two was always close, cell to cell. They was always ducking and diving, earning money. Trained together in the gym. Never ever apart. visits the same, food the same. They was never apart, mate. Always together. We had some bad stories. It's bad story about everything, you know. But they were the ones when I was at Albany that used to get the drugs in, used to get the acid tabs, yeah, and all that, and put them in cigar tubes and stick them up their bum and all that thing, all that going. Yeah, when you know, like there was so many nice people in there. What's his name? The one that they dug up Lord's cricket ground for him. I forget his name now, but dug up Lord's cricket ground, say he was not guilty of what he did, and you know, when he got out, he went straight down another one. Robert got nicked. Oh, funny man, funny. Yeah, it's like you know, I got so many names, mate. People to talk about when I was in Albany. Prison, mate. It was a good prison, you know, and then to move from there to a better prison than that. But I was trying to get on in 1074, nearly died, and nearly killed me, mate. But in the end, I wound up in Chelmsford prison. Chelmsford prison, mate. Chelmsford prison was a prison, just unbelievable. It was like, it was a prison, but run by the cons, yeah? But run by the obviously run by the screws and that, but run by the cons because the screws just let them get away with things and do what they wanted to do because they didn't want no problems. The governor was a fantastic governor. The chief was a poof, but he's a fantastic chief, you know. And for you know, when I went there, it was, the people in there were just so nice. Tiger was there again. Tiger, my mate. You know, met a guy called Peter Lyons. Me and him become white pals. Peter Lyons, famous man, big guy, played rugby with me. He was a prop, I was a prop. Nicky Green, Tony Edlin, Terry Millman upstairs, Lou Swallow. It goes on. Do you know, like, and then the Bonnie Bender, the Tibbses. There were so many people in there, mate, that were so respected. And it was just a different place. And I get some screws now and again come on my podcast or my videos and say, nah, it couldn't have happened. Listen, when that prison burnt down, they must have found things in that Chelmsford prison they never thought that they never find. Like to go into Ronnie Bender's cell, you know, and find bottles of whiskey, every drink there you could name was in Ronnie Bender's cell. King Edward cigars, cigarettes, loads of cigarettes, you know, everything that you could possibly name, Ronnie Bender had it in his cell. Ronnie Bender was such a nice guy, man. How he got 20 odd years or whatever he got with Over the Craze, I never know. You know, life 21 or life 22 years, was it something like just been a driver? Ridiculous, you know. And he's just a nice guy. And he trained, you know, to be in the special forces. This guy was like, they called him the captain because he was the captain of every team, cricket team, rugby team, football team. He was the one. The guy was just so nice, such a nice guy. He's the first guy, right, that taught me a thing called astral projection. He used to do it to his wife. Him and his wife used to talk, you know, believe it or not. You know, people go, what is that? But it does exist. It does exist, you know. I was going to cell one and going there, lay on the floor with the cushions and do my neck rolls because of the cushions, do loads of neck rolls. I had a big neck, 22-inch neck, load of neck rolls, go in there, get coffee, teas, chocolate. You know, when you had no money, when you was waiting for money to come or trying some money, people would go in there, go to Ronnie Bender's cell, Ronnie, got a bit of coffee, mate, or tea or something. You know, yeah, mate, have some coffee, tin of coffee, some tea bags, you know, a bit of chocolate for you, mate. Go on, crack on, mate. I know you're all right, mate. Give me when you got it and all that. And it was like, it was nice. Always big card schools in one in Bendon. Massive big card schools, you know. Lots of cash. You see cash passing hands all the time. People that get the visits was like the visits were like being in the restaurant. The visits you could come into Chelmsford Prison visits, yeah. You could come in with big chicken meals, steak meals, roast beefs, you know, roast Sunday joints, not joints, dinners, bottles of wine and all that. And, you know, people just used it's the governor and the chief in Chelmsford Prison run that prison like prisons should be run, yeah? A regime, they had a proper regime in there. He couldn't mug them off as such, yeah? But they shut their eyes to so much. I had a cell, I had a cell made for me, right? By Peter Lyons, the other guy, I forget his name, this guy, and this other guy, was a carpenter. They done my cell out of these units, out of these cupboards, sawed them up and put all units in my cell, like a proper cell, like units, you know, like wall to wall and like a lockers and all that, and an armchair in there. Yeah, it don't seem possible. Yeah, I did, yeah. Armchair side, it was the business, a light that goes round with all lights and carpet, curtains, bedspreads, nice pillows. You could get anything in Chelmsford Prison that you wanted, except freedom. Except freedom. I don't think anybody escaped. Even when the fire was there, no one escaped. It just, do you know what? I think people in Chelmsford Prison lose that, yeah? Lose that wanting to get out, escape. What's the point? They had everything they wanted in there. Just do their bird comfortable and get out, yeah? Rather than think about getting escaping, looking at plots of and this, that, and the other, yeah? And no, it was just a prison that you wouldn't, you know, it was just to go in the yard and big corrugated sheets in there, a sheet building, big weights in there that I used to go in there and train. You know, I used to train, you know, if someone wasn't doing rugby or if I'd been hurt, I'd go into there and I'd be training weights. Yeah, and it's, I don't know. I look back and I just look at all the memories that I had, yeah, for all these people, mate, all these nice people that I met in prison, yeah. Maybe a lot of them are dead now, you know. But Roy Atkins, Mickey Blackmore, I mean, both of them got shot. Both of them were hitmen. Went over to Holland and both got hit there, you know. They both got caps over there. People just done them over there. But dangerous people, but nice people, mate. Nice people. You know, people that you could, you know, I was a lump in there, mate. I was massive, you know, I was doing silly things in there, you know, lifting silly weights. And Mickey Lawrence, my pal, Mickey Lawrence, like dark skinned guy, you know, like a gypsy sort of guy, Mickey Lawrence, mate. And not Tony Lawrence, Mickey Lawrence. And I love Mickey. Me and Mickey go back a long way. We trained together in Chelmsford Prison. Yeah, man. My mate, you know, Tony Lawrence, I met him in there and sitting down and talked to me all the stories that happened to him and the Sullivans. They shot him in the head and 303 for the chest, and when he went to the floor, they boom, shot him with 2.2s all around his fucking head, got holes everywhere, and it's just madness, mate. Him and Fraser couldn't talk, always loggerheads, you know, it's just mad. Anyway, Bang Bang Rail could go on all day, you know, little stories, but Bang Bang Rail, please like and subscribe, and good morning, yeah, nice one.